Hello everyone. So today we have an exciting topic to discuss that will give us a deeper understanding of the business world in India. So in this PPT we will explore the dynamics of the combination movement in India. Then this movement involves the formulation of large scale mergers and business combination among companies operating in different industries. We will learn about the reason behind the relatively slow growth of this movement in India and examine the current position of combinations in Indian industries. Additionally, we will explore the various forms of combinations that exist in India, such as trade unions, chamber of commerce, pools and cartels. Then we have vertical combinations, community of interest, holding companies, and amalgamation and merger. So let's start with this topic and uncover the secrets of combination movement in India. So the combination movement in India has not been so wide as it has been in some Western countries. In fact, the movement in Indian industry was altogether absent before 1921. However, the movement gained some ground afterwards. But its progress was very slow when compared to the advanced countries like USA, Canada, Germany and Japan. So these are some of the causes for the slow growth of the movement. The first one is the slow industrial progress. So in this point, it states that the development of industries in India was very slow before independence because the British rulers intentionally prevented it. This lack of industrial progress made it difficult for the combination movement to grow because it usually happens in advanced industrial countries. Second point is foreign competition. So Indian industries faced tough competition from foreign countries before 1921. The British government didn't protect Indian businesses, so they had to compete with companies from other countries that had more advanced technology and resources. This competition even made it harder for Indian industry to focus on forming labor union or any kind of collective organization. Size of the unit. So the industrial unit in India were small and spread out across a wide area. This made it difficult for the workers to come together and form strong labor union or combination. The scattered nature of the industrial made it hard for workers to unite and even fight for their rights and interests. Managing agency system. So the managing agency system, which was common in Indian industries, was a combination in itself. However, the focus of managing agencies was more on making profit and controlling the company rather than looking out for the workers. So they somehow have a negative impact. This limits the chance for workers to form independence because their main motive is to make profit and controlling the company. So it becomes difficult for them to have independent labor union, and further it slow down the growth of the combination movement. Next point, attitude of the industrialist. So there were many Indian industrialists who have a self-centered mindset and they didn't want to form any kind of combination or have any kind of support labor union. Why? Because they were afraid that it would take away their control, their independence in running their business. So this individualistic attitude of these industrialists made it hard for the workers to come together and fight for their rights. Next point, the government's policy. So the British government didn't support the growth for the combination movement. They saw that the labor unions they saw labor union as some kind of social evil, and took measures to prevent their growth. So the government put restrictions on labor union, they watched them closely, and sometimes they even used to force against them. So these actions made it difficult for the workers to organize and fight for their rights. So overall, we can say that from these pointers, we have concluded that these factors created challenges for workers to unite and fight for their rights and for their independence. Next topic, present position of combination movement in India. So the present position of the combination in the industries of the nation may be studied under two heads, namely, the first one is industry-wise combination and the next one is firm-wise combination. So let me give you a brief on industry-wise combination. So an industry-wise combination, in simple terms, it refers to when workers, when employees, or on the other hand, other people involved in a specific industry, they come together as a group or organization. They do this to work together on common problems or goals related to that particular industry. So let's take an example. Suppose a worker in a factory might form a union to negotiate for better wages, for better pay and for better working conditions. Or businesses in a particular industry might join hand to advocate for policies that benefit their industries as a whole. So by forming these industry-wise combinations, people can have a stronger voice and they can work together to address that affects them or so it helps them to negotiate for better treatment, fight for their rights and collaborate on industry specific challenges. So in short, we can say that industry-wise combination means that people in the same industry working together to as a group to solve problems, improve the condition and it helps in achieving the common goals. So in industry-wise combination, the first industry is the jute industry. So the Indian Jute Mill Association was formed in 1886 with a view to control the productive capacity of the industries and to check the uneconomic fall in prices. Jute mill owners representing more than 95% of the trade are the members of the combination. It works as an output cartel. It has also established an institution of technology to promote research and technical development in the jute industry. So the first feature is concentration of production. So the jute industry in India is highly concentrated with a few major players dominating the market. This concentration of production makes it easier for these players to form pools and cartel. Next point, limited number of mills. So there is a limited number of jute mills in India which further facilitates the formulation of horizontal combination. This allows the mill owner to come together and collectively control the productive capacity of the industry. Price instability. The jute industry has historically faced price fluctuation and volatility. To address this issue and to prevent uneconomic falls in prices, the Indian Jute Mill Association was formed. This association works as an output cartel to regulate prices and stabilize the market. Next point, research and development. The jute industry has also recognized the importance of research and technical development. The IJMA has established an institution of technology to promote research and innovation in the jute industry. This focus on research and development further strengthens the collaborative efforts within the industry. Next industry is the cement industry. So the first attempt to form a combination was made in 1920. The cement industry it's repeated in the formation of Indian Cement Manufacturer Association. In 1930, the Cement Marketing Company was formed with the view to control the price and avoid competition. It also undertook the distribution functions on a collective basis. This cartel, however, did not succeed in its attempt, and so the Associated Centre Cement Company Limited was organized in 1937. So to make this combination more effective, 11 cement companies went into liquidation. Sahu Jain and Dalmia group of cement factories, however, left out this combination. The ACC controls more than 70% of the total production. First feature, price control and competition avoidance. So the formation of the Indian Cement Manufacturer Association and later the Cement Marketing Company was driven by the desire to control the prices and avoid competition. These combinations aimed to regulate prices in the market and ensure stability. Second point, distribution on a collective basis. The Cement Marketing Company and later the Associated Cement Marketing Company Limited took over the role of distributing cement on a collective basis. This centralized distribution system helped to streamline operations and ensure efficient supply to the market. Third point, liquidation of smaller cement companies. In order to strengthen the effectiveness of combination, several smaller cement companies went into liquidation. This consolidation of production and control among fewer companies allowed for greater coordination and control over the industry. Next point, dominance of a few major players. The ACC emerged as a dominant player in the cement industry, controlling over 70% of the total production. This concentration of production and market share facilitated the formation of horizontal combination. Next point is sugar industry. The sugar industry is mainly concentrated in UP and Bihar. Prior to 1930, there were only a few sugar mills in these states. But the grant of protection in 1931 resulted in a phenomenal rise in the number of mills. Apart from the competition like Java, the internal competition also becomes more intense. Therefore, the sugar syndicate was formed in 1931 and roughly two-thirds of the sugar factory participated in the combination. But the syndicate was dissolved in 1950 owing to the heavy pressure from the government and partial control on sugar was imposed. Features. First feature, concentration in specific state. So the sugar industry is primarily concentrated in UP and Bihar. This concentration of production in specific states create opportunities for collaboration and coordination among the industry players. Grant of protection. The sugar industry experienced a significant increase in the number of mills. After the grant of protection in 1931, this resulted in heightened competition both from international sources like Java and within the domestic market. Internal competition. The increase in the number of sugar mills led to intensified competition within the industry. To address this competition and regulate prices, the sugar syndicate was formed in 1937. Approximately Two-thirds of the sugar factories participated in this combination. Fourth point, dissolution and government pressure. The sugar syndicate was dissolved in 1950 due to heavy pressure from the government. The government imposed toll on sugar, indicating its intervention in regulating the industry. Next one is the paper industry. The paper industry offers another excellent example of voluntary pooling agreement. Till recently, only three mills, the Tithagar paper mill, the Bengal paper mill and the Indian paper pulp company limited were in the field and enjoyed a virtual monopoly. They formed the Indian Paper Market Association and worked in conjunction. The new mills, which came later into existence, also joined it. This system still works more effectively. First point, limited number of mills. So until recently, the paper industry in India was dominated by only three mills, the Tithagar paper mill, the Bengal paper mill and the Indian paper pulp company limited. This limited number of mills created an environmental conducive to collaboration and pooling of resources. Next point, virtual monopoly. So the three dominant mills enjoyed a virtual monopoly in the paper industry. This monopoly position allowed them to come together and form the Paper Markets Association, working in conjunction to regulate the market and coordinate their activities. Next point, inclusion of new mills. So as new mills entered the industry, they also joined the Indian Paper Market Association. This inclusion of new mills into the association further strengthens its effectiveness and reach. Fourth, ongoing effectiveness. The pooling agreement and collaboration among the mills in the Indian Paper Market Association continue to work effectively in the industry. This suggests that the system of voluntary pooling agreements has been successful in regulating the market and promoting cooperation among the mills. Iron and steel industry. The Steel Corporation of Bengal was formally consolidated by merger in the Indian Iron and Steel Company Limited in 1953 under the directive of government. Its management was taken over by the government with effect from July 1937. The Steel Authority of India was set up in 1973 as a holding company to control the steel unit in the public sector. Besides these, pooling agreement is also found in match industry, shipping industry. The Steel Corporation of Bengal was merged into the Indian Iron and Steel Company Limited in 1953. As directed by the government, this consolidation aims to streamline operations and create a more efficient and coordinated steel industry. Second point, government intervention. The government took over the management of the Indian Iron and Steel Company Limited in July 1973. This indicates the involvement of the government in the iron and steel sector and its effort to control and regulate the industry. Steel Authority of India. So in 1973, the Steel Authority of India, also known as SAIL, was established as a holding company to oversee and control the steel unit in public sector. SAIL's formation aimed to centralize the management and coordination of the public sector steel unit. Next point, pooling arrangements with other industries. So pooling agreements are also formed in other industries such as the match industry, shipping industry, and petroleum refining industry. These industries serves to coordinate activities, regulate the market, and promote collaboration among industry players. Next one is the form-wise combination. So all combination, irrespective of their forms, have been established in India either by mediate or immediate influence or the managing agency system. Combination found in the Indian Association can be briefly discussed below. The first one is trade association. The indigo factory owner made the earliest attempt in this direction. They have formed the Association of Indigo Planters in 1801. Most of the pioneers were European traders and merchants. During the early days, its process was slow and only two associations, namely the Calcutta Traders Association in 1830 and the Madras Trader Association in 1856 were formed in this period. There was a phenomenal growth of each association after 1860. The most important association formed after this period were Indian Tea Association, Indian Jute Mill Association in 1884, Indian Mining Association in 1892 and United Planters Association of Southern India in 1898. All these associations were formed by the Europeans to promote their interest and welfare. Indian businessmen also took keen interest in the formation of trade association. Bombay Mill Owner Association was formed in 1857 due to the combined efforts of the Indian and European businessmen. At present, there are a number of trade associations, at least one of each trade. So according to the directory compiled by the Indian Merchant Chamber, there are 836 associations throughout the country, of which 170 are general and 666 are sectional. Next is the Chamber of Commerce. So as in the case of trade associations, initiatives in the formation of Chamber of Commerce had also been taken by the Europeans. However, the Indian businessmen also joined with them later. The first Chamber of Commerce was established by European was the Bengal Chamber of Commerce in 1834. The first Chamber of Commerce of Indian businessmen was found in Kakinda in 1885. At first, these chambers were organized on a religion basis to serve the business people of their region. Later, they were also organized on provincial or national basis. At present, besides the local chamber, there are 15 of all Indian chambers and 2 federation of chambers, such as the Association Chamber of Commerce, Calcutta, and the Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce, New Delhi. Pools and cartels. So there are only a few examples of pools and cartels in Indian business scene. Most of the pools or cartels agreements are found in some of the industries like jute, cement, sugar, paper, petroleum, refining, etc. They were all discussed in the beginning of this PPT. Next is the vertical combination. So vertical combination are found in iron and steel and sugar industries in India. The Tata Group have their own collieries and are mines. In the sugar industry, some of the concerns like Raza Sugar Mill of Rampur own sugarcane field and run their own breweries and confectionaries, in addition to the manufacturing of sugar. Community of interest. The managing agency system is solely responsible for the development of community of interest in the Indian industry. According to a survey undertaken in 1955, it was brought to light the 11 leading managing agents were controlling 283 undertakings. The British managing agency houses like Andrew Yule, Martin Brun, Duncan Bruce and Indian managing agency housing like Tata's, Birla's and Dalmia's were the most important of them. However, the system was completely abolished in 1970 by the central movement in our country. Next is the holding company. So this type of combination is not very popular in our country. Some of the examples are Barrackpur Coal Company Limited, the Equitable Coal Company Limited, the Shaw Wallens and Company Limited and the Tea Estate Limited. The last point for today's presentation, amalgamation and merger. So this type of complete consolidation is also unfamiliar in our country. This is due to the dominance of the merging agent in the Indian business field. In the pre-independence period, amalgamation and merger occurred in many industries like sugar, electricity, coal mining, jute, banking and textile industry. But it progressed in the post-independence period was very slow. Thank you so much.